Okay, so good evening to everybody. Thanks for being here this very cold day. So the workshop brought together the diverse stakeholders to critically evaluate and reflect on different kind of tools used to address the current threats of conservation and sustainable development in the Amazon. This was held from the October 3rd and 4th in 2017 and in the Austin Care Learning Center. And we had like 115 participants, including 19 students from the UF and 28 professors. Besides, we have different kind of NGOs, academia, government entities from USA, Brazil, Bolivia, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. All the participants took in a series of previous online work, so they were working together in an online setting. And before the workshop, we have a networking activity that was called for the TCD students, that was called Learning Day. And in the case of our group, we will focus in the panel called Building Collaborative Alliances and Synergies in Conservation Development Initiative that help understand the role of the different stakeholders involved in the Amazon conservation development. Also, this presentation will focus in the second year of the workshop in the session named Negotiating Governance Strategies and Advanced Drivers of Deforestation. And in that panel, we had three different cases. The first one was planning and licensing of hydraulic dams in the Amazon. The second one, formalization of alluvial gold mining in the Peruvian Amazon. And the third one, infrastructure development in the Western Amazon. So the objective of this session was to answer the following questions. Who are the primary stakeholders involved and which negotiation strategy each of them employed? And what were the expected benefits and in the practice outcome using of these negotiation strategies? So this presentation is trying to understand the similarities and differences between the three cases. For doing this, we use the theoretical framework of stakeholder analysis. So what we are going to cover in this presentation, the stakeholder analysis, the learning day, a brief summary of each case, some comments from the participants on that day. Then we're going to go through the analysis and discussion, and then conclusion and recommendations. Going forward with the stakeholder analysis. So this stakeholder analysis reflects the recognition of how the characteristics of the stakeholders, like individuals, groups, or organizations, influence decision-making processes. Its root is in the political and policy science, and also in the management theory, where it was involved into a systematic tool with clear defined steps and application for scanning the current and future organizational environments. This information can be used as a developed strategy for managing these stakeholders. So the stakeholder analysis can be used to generate knowledge about the relevant actors, to understand their behaviors, intentions, interrelations, agendas, interests, and influences of resources they have brought or they could bring to bear the decision-making processes. So many of the stakeholder analysis addresses similar questions. In this case, who are the stakeholders to include in the analysis? What are the stakeholder interests and beliefs? Who controls critical resources? With whom do stakeholders from coalitions? What strategies and venues the stakeholder use to achieve their objective? And also, the stakeholder analysis also use resources to influence policy processes, like access to legal authority to make political decisions. In this case, the theory says that direct political access and influences become a major resources for an advocacy coalitions. Public opinion, so opinion polls as documenting can support for the policy views of advocacy coalitions are a good major resource. Information as political policy mobilizable supporters. So the political outcome of central mobilization of public supporters and expansion of the financial resource. The financial resources is a valuable resource because they can use to purchase other resources. Skillful leadership. So the literature says that it demonstrates how skillful leaderships can help navigate on coalitions toward victories. So we are more names.
So we have this panel and learning day that help us. It's like a tool for us to understand and deepen our discussion about the interrelation of different stakeholders in the three cases that we have as examples to understand governance in the Amazon. So on the learning day, we have this main question, which was how to identify people with different interests and perception of conservation and development. It is possible to implement actions when stakeholders have conflicting interests or worldviews, and definition of successful communication with different stakeholders. So for this, we brought together 4 different people coming from the Brazilian conservation NGO, an international conservation NGO, someone from the Brazilian government, and another one from the academia. So this helped us later to, as I said, to have this different discussion about the different views of stakeholders. And then they respond to the questions about what is their vision about the development and conservation for the Amazon in the next few years. From this discussion, we obtained this workout and in some way summarize the common ideas that brought from this panel, which are strategies for creating collaborative alliances. It has to be with deal with changing environments, embrace difference, look for commonalities with alliances, and increase knowledge sharing. Then I'm gonna do a brief summary of the 3 case studies. So we found Marlies and I, a hard time trying to organize all the ideas because they're very complex cases, and then you have this to create a framework of stakeholders that are common for the 3 cases and understand governance in the Amazon. So first, before having the summary of the 3 cases, let's remember what Beto Bellissimo and Mauricio said. They were mentioning the conservation status in Brazil. They said that in the last 10 years, the deforestation has increased in this country, in the Amazon. That is not enough. And the role of environmental prosecutors was the key in this deforestation increase. On the other hand, the GDP in the Amazon is very low in relation to other parts of the country, so this creates a pressure for the implementation of mega infrastructure projects and energy supply. In the face of illegal acts of degradation of resources, the role of public prosecutor is critical, as I said. And in the case of public politics of mega infrastructure development guided by national and international agendas, it is essential to promote engagement of public opinion, especially those that are directly affected by this business. So this last statement was mentioned in all the 3 case studies. So this is the first one. It's about planning and licensing of hydroelectrical dams in the Amazon. We have all these panelists coming from the academia, coming from the NGOs. We have a presentation from Angela and Simone pointed out different issues regarding social consultation in the planning and licensing process for hydroelectrical dams construction. Usually, these projects have not consulted enough with local and indigenous communities for their opinion and participation. Besides, most of the medium and long-term impacts have been underestimated in most of the projects. This poor planning has caused people displacements, loss of communities' livelihoods, loss of forestations in prairie areas that are flood, increases in flood issues, among other negative effects. They also explain that the energy matrix in Brazil, needs to be improved where there is an opportunity to include alternative energy supplies like wind and solar. Also, there is another issue to well-done hydropower potential inventory in Brazil because planning types are essential in this kind of projects. Another important issue that should be improved in the public hearing process that sometimes do not work as well as envisioned without the adequate public participation. Then we got the case study 2, that it was about the formalization of alluvial gold mining in the Peruvian Amazon, challenges and rationale. So we have these presentations, and it was mentioned from the start that even though gold mining, alluvial gold mining, should not exist in the Amazon because of the environmental damage. It's something that is happening, so we have to address it in the way that we can. So right now, there are many laws restricting this activity in Madre de Dios, but these are not implemented because of the political power that miners have in the region. Over the last 50 years, and since the activity appears in the region, the international price of gold has shaped the intensity of alluvial mining. In fact, the alluvial gold mining in Madre de Dios supports the country's GDP and contributes in a significant way to the international gold market. So that's why it's a huge problem. The strategy to deal with this harmful effect of this activity was initiated by a process of normalization, which started in 2012, and tried to discourage the illegal mining. So at this position, it's also important to understand the difference between illegal mining and informal mining. The first one is done inside protected areas or using forbidden methods, while the second not. But it's very not so clear line between these two. Today, no miner has been formalized in Madre de Dios, and there are some characteristics of the Peruvian governability to explain that. One is that 73% of the country's jobs are informal. The permeability of corruption and illegality at all governance levels, as well as the Madre de Dios president role, because the president of this region is miner and has openly discouraged miners in the process of formalization. Other actions should be promoted are more technical assistance, land management ordering, soil and landscape restoration, and promotion of alternative economic activities. Then we have the third case study in relation to infrastructure development in Western Amazon. And it was mentioned that there are two different kinds of drivers of infrastructure development in this region. One's coming from the inside of the countries, and those coming from outside of these countries. The national demands come from the growing middle class in the Amazonian nations who ask for communities and services, while outside forces are driven mainly by the G20 Chinese investment and possibly the South American Council or Infrastructure and Planning. These drugs have created a considerable conflict between the market and the environmental regulation, with the consequence of weakening the environmental one in order to permit this trade of legal inversions to happen. All this infrastructure development in the Amazon do not necessarily connect people, you mentioned in the presentations, but they make the extraction of forest resources more accessible. Finally, the measures to these panels that this panel identified that should be taken are in a various ways. One is that inform civil society about the social ecological impacts of the infrastructure. Second, improve legislation for the enforcement of environmental criteria and informed consultation. And three, empower people is critical as a bottom-up approach. So then, while we have all these presentations, we have the opportunity for the rest of participants to write down on cards their comments about partnerships and collaboration, and about tools and strategies to require to improve conservation and development outcomes. In relation to the first question, we tried to organize all the comments and we found out that they in some way respond to these questions. The first one was who are the stakeholders that are not well represented. And in two of the three cases, we have like those directly affected by the process. Civil organizations, needed. Thank you. Human rights and environmental organizations, transnational alliances and countries, and then collaborations between conservation and human rights organizations and engagement with other organizations like Navy agencies, renewable energy experts, hospitals, because they have the money and they might be interested in collaborating with conservation and human rights organizations. Maybe not now, but we should encourage that to happen. And then there's a big list here of what are tools and strategies has to be along with increased awareness about the effects of these projects, for the development, for mining, for health, for local people, access to legal authorities for law change and enforcement. So the focus here is public consultation to treat cases. So we have things like soldiers, for example, gold, for mining, as well as images of the miners, enforce the enforcement of environmental and human rights laws that are already there but have no force. And then generate information about monitoring other renewable energy sources, restoration processes, ecosystem services, for example. And I'm going to go so quick about the different stakeholders that we identified that are common in the 3 cases. So we found 9 different stakeholders that are arranged in these 5 kind of. That include public sector, NGOs, academia, private sector, government at all levels. And this shows, let's change here. So it shows how their interaction, how strong the interaction are between these 5 groups of stakeholders. So as you can see there, the stakeholders that are most connected with the others, and it has to do a lot with their source of power, are public citizenry, the government, and the private sector. So then here we have the different stakeholders. Inside public citizenry sector, we identify the rural and urban people. The rural people is looking for better lifestyle, that's the value. Within the indigenous groups in the rural world, is more likely to find also the value of conservation, of natural resources, and cultural identity. Between the urban people, they also seek for better lifestyle. But in Amazonian countries, there is a growing middle class that demands more for resources in countries that continue to grow economically. For the government, we can think about different scales of government in different sectors. In different scales that are not mentioned here, we have the scale of the municipal, then the state regional, the national, and the international. So this difference is very important because in the case of the gold mining case study, the state regional scale of government is very important because of the role of the president of Madre de Dios there. On the other hand, various sectors within the government are identified. So here we have the Ministry of Environment, that is way different in their values and their source of power in relation to other ministries like energy, infrastructure, transportation, etc. So the Ministry of Environment has the value to pursue biodiversity conservation and sustainable development. Depending on the policy of each government in Amazonian countries, this entity may be weakened and by receiving this fiscal budget, right? And other ministries such as infrastructure, energy, mining, investment, which activities are directed by these institutions, framing the political objectives in South American governments to achieve more and more economic development. The sources of power of these other ministries are to have greater access to legal authorities, financial resources, and mobilization of supporters. Then we have the private sectors, which we split into the investors that can contribute to the value of money, economic development of the countries they collaborate with. And then we have the companies, industries with the resources and the public, the value of money. Yeah. Oh, okay, Amazon. And then we have the academy, which refers to all universities and research center to generate the knowledge, the conservation and development of the Amazon. The academy pursues value-generating knowledge to improve the life of human beings. Yeah? And then we have the NGOs. We have a very wide range of sources of power and values. It was their role. There are some NGOs that has to be more with economic development. There are others that has to be more with human rights, and others that are more interested in conservation of biodiversity. Well, we can have some 2 minutes to talk about the lessons learned. Yeah.
So, and here we try to identify some limited and enabling factors in the three cases. So in the case of the hydroelectric dams, we have the reduced capacity of the environmental assessment associated with the decision-making processes, and also the low legitimacy and quality of the process related to the consultation. And the enable factors were there is some options for renewable energy. There is this rhetoric, but maybe it's not really taken into account. They need to be more thinking. The government energy agencies and national and international agendas. In the case of the alluvial gold mining, the limiting factors are the lack of effective communication, lack of effective consultation to the civil society, and conflict of interest and views between stakeholders. And then the factors, the negotiation processes with different actors. And in the case of the infrastructure development of Western Amazon are the limiting factors, different bargaining power in different countries, lack of understanding of the negative impacts in the short, medium, and long term at different levels, and the enabling factors like transnational alliances in Amazonian countries like IPSA and Cosiplan, and also Chinese investors. So the lesson learned of future pathways, very quick, we identify these ones, the drivers of infrastructure development in the Amazon. They're coming for inside the country, but also it's coming for the outside of the country. The lack of effective communication, politicians do not listen to the researchers, just listen to the voters. And the social consultation in planning and licensing processes. So the drivers for forest deforestation and degradation, the expansion of land use for cattle ranching, is promoted by political decision encouraging land grabbing. And the process of negotiation, sometimes in the negotiation table, there is just a few stakeholders are sitting there, and increase the pressure of the implementation of the infrastructure projects. And the infrastructure development in the Amazon do not necessarily connect local people and make the extraction forest resources more accessible. And there is not a strong governance, and the permeability of corruption and illegality at all governance levels. And the future pathways, improved communication channels, as many of other groups mentioned already, at different levels and with different stakeholders, to have a better project implementation, give quality and legitimacy to the process, and strengthening the dialogue between stakeholders. So to have informed civil society about social ecological impacts of big infrastructure. So increase the transparency in the process related to the public participation, the consultation to civil society, and environmental and decision making, and empower people as a bottom-up approach. Connect rural and urban people, building citizen participation, because the knowledge about cultural and biological diversity in the Amazon is very poor understanding from urban people. Improve legislation for enforcement of environmental criteria. So well done early territorial participatory planning and environmental impact assessment, and better public hearing processes in order to have public participation. So the energy matrix in the Amazonian country needs to be improved as an opportunity to include alternative energy sources like wind and solar. And overcome corruption is fundamental. Increase the quality of the implementation, avoid delays in the construction, and to give legitimacy to the process. Conclusions and recommendations. Well, the Amazon is more than just forests. There are a lot of people living there. It's seen as a periphery of each country, forgotten that indigenous people own the Amazon, but they do not have voice. It is essential to address conflicting visions of development in the Amazon region. It is necessary to engage partnership with non-traditional partners addressing environmental injustice, be more inclusive with local communities that are not indigenous, like colonos, caboclos, ribereños, and among others. So there is a challenge to collaboration at the regional level. There is a weakness of communication between rural, urban, and indigenous areas. We need to build these bridges. Communicate that what science do and how the legal system works in a way for the people to understand. People who understand the legal system need to be present and help to understand how the legal processes work at the local communities. And some recommendation is that Latin America in general needs to work more in their governance processes to ensure that all voices are here and taken into account. It is crucial to strengthen the legal frameworks at the regional level in a way of addressing deforestation. The consultation is needed to change in order to have more inclusive projects in the Amazon. Communication at different levels is key in order to have informed civil society regarding the pros and cons of mega projects. Well informed and organized society will elect better politicians and will give more transparency and legitimacy to the processes. And just this is the last one. Sorry. Yeah, it's the last one. So this recommendation basically is in the negotiation process. It is essential to be more inclusive, like try to understand the interests and values of different stakeholders, understand the power balances, have different alternatives, enforcement of the agreements, and things that we can do, understanding interest without bias, make the counterpart understand the point, and overcome obstacles with dialogue, and change power balances, and make sure that done with the right person, the person who can take decisions. So, sorry for taking too much of your time.